from Winmalee resident and professional stand-up comedian Evin Donohoe. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen Evin stand up around Sydney and also in Melbourne. I know that he sold out shows in the Melbourne Comedy Festival. He had a particularly great success in a show about Barack Obama's victory in the 2012 election and the part that Evin played in that. Ladies and gentlemen, he's got all kinds of wonderful stories, all kinds of great jokes. Keep warm, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome in Evin Donohoe.
Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Can you get a round of applause for yourselves, because you're a resilient community of wonderful people, and you all came out tonight to this wonderful auction. So just give a great round of applause to Benedict, doing a wonderful job in singing, and your auctioneer, who is charming and likable, whereas I'm, a bit of a misanthrope. Alright, so who's drinking tonight? We need to keep the alcohol flowing to keep the auction flowing as well. So a round of applause if you're drinking right now. Good, that's a good thing. I like a drink too, me and my friends, we all like a drink, as you do. And this was all good and fine until one of my friends, an uncle of his, died of drinking, right? But what one of my friends was saying was, well, it's not so bad, because he died the way he would have wanted. You hear this one? He died the way he would have wanted, with a drink in his hand. I had to say to these guys, look, you gotta wake up. That's actually a pretty terrible way to die when you think about it. Because it means he didn't get to finish it. Can't I die after I finish my drink, please? Maybe a few hours later when I'm starting to sober up. If I have to die at some point in the drinking process, I think I want it to happen just before the hangover kicks in. Which some of you may be experiencing tomorrow. You wake up, you say, that was a great night, I got really drunk, where am I? And then, oh my God, Evin, he's not breathing, someone do something! No, leave him. He died the way he would have wanted. Avoiding a hangover. I am from the Blue Mountains. I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Port Avenue, about 80% of which still exists, so yeah. But I have a bit of a strange accent, so I just want to clear up for you what's happening there. My father's Australian, John Donohoe over there, many of you may know him. My mother's American, Trish Donohoe from New York right there, and I used to ask audiences, what do you get when you cross an Australian with an American? And I had to stop asking that when people started shouting back, obesity. Yeah. But what I figured out is when you cross an Australian with an American, you get a Canadian. Look, I'm like a polite American. That's what they are, And I figured this out with my first ever job at the Springwood IGA for 3 months without me knowing it. They were calling me the quiet Canadian boy who works downstairs. Which makes me sound like a serial killer. I do want to talk about why we're all here tonight. I think it's time we brought that up. It's it's something that affects all of us. That's pretty awful. And it's, I think, particular, to this country more than any other. Of course, I'm talking about spiders. We have enormous spiders in this country. Have you guys not seen them? I was talking to a guy when I was in England. He said, I once saw a spider that was as big as my hand. And I said, yeah, well, in Australia, the spiders are so big that they actually have hands. And names, like Samantha and Tom. It's short for Tom. Anyway, and the worst thing is, I know this guy was saying, this spider, it was so big, it wasn't funny. And I said, when is it big enough that it is funny? Who's ever seen a giant spider next to their head and gone, it doesn't happen. And it's not only are our spiders enormous, some of them can kill you. Which wouldn't be so bad, except it's not that just Australian spiders are deadly, it's terrible because they also look deadly. If it was a cute little fuzzy thing biting me to death, I wouldn't mind so much. But what do our two deadliest spiders look like? One of them's about this big. It's covered in brown and black spiky hairs with eyes you can see and screams you can hear, and it can survive underwater for days, and it's aggressive. And the other one is a black little shiny thing, and it's got a red stripe on its back so that it can chase you faster. Yes. So, I want to go easy on the spiders tonight because they, like the rest of us, have been affected by the bushfires. That's people's homes have been affected. I myself, I lived in Port Avenue, and we did lose our house a little over a month ago. And I remember the day after we lost the house, we all turned up in the street. I had, to meet up and check out things that was going on. I got out of the car, and what I saw was just terrible. And what I saw was my dad wearing double denim. Denim shirt, denim pants, awful. And I realized, my God, he's just lost all his stuff. He doesn't have any other clothes. And that almost made it worse. Not only is he wearing double denim, he can only wear double denim. That's what happens when you lose your house in a bushfire. You lose a lot of the things that are important to you, a lot of the things you care about. We lost all of Ma's cookbooks, so now our lives are less delicious from now on. We lost Dad's gladiators. So he had an antique gladiator, so now our lives are less Roman. And of course we lost all of our wine and whiskey, so none of us have had a drink since then. I can categorically say there has been no cooking, drinking, or sword fighting in our lives since we lost our house. You guys. And it is tough when you lose, the things that are important. I remember going through it with, you go through it with the insurance company. It was tough. It was emotional just going through the list. They're saying to the guy, well, I lost my books, my little models from when I was painting models growing up, my collection of extremely rare and valuable stamps, my original Picasso went as well. My Fabergé eggs. I loved my Fabergé eggs. You guys. But it's very easy to focus on. It's very easy to focus on the things you love. My Babe Ruth baseball card. But there's then there's the other things. The things that you used to cheer yourself up. And those are the things that you did want to lose. Let me put it this way. When I was 17 years old, I tried writing poetry. Because I figured, well, this is an angsty teen thing. This is what angsty teens do. I'm probably an angsty teen. This is a thing. Let's give this a shot. So I sat down. I wrote the poetry, and 10 minutes later, I looked down at the bit of paper and went, "My God, this is so terrible. No one is ever allowed to see this. I can't just hide this. I have to burn it." Immediately. So I went downstairs, went to the fireplace, and burned the poem in the fireplace. A fireplace which itself, years later, would itself burn down. Irony! But now, like my poem, every embarrassing thing from my childhood is just gone. Things you don't want getting out there, like my school report cards. I never want to get those. No one's allowed to see those, and now they never will. Because I don't want people knowing that I never lived up to those amazing marks I got. I was totally ace at everything, right? But here I am being a stand-up comedian, What happened? What went wrong? What did you do? And one of my teachers once referred to me as bubbly. What is bubbly? Yes. He referred to me as intoxicating, as champagne. I was tall and yellow in those days, blonde if you will, athletic almost. No, sorry, I went on a real tangent from that. High school, I didn't grow up in the mountains. High school, he was alright. I went to my high school reunion a while ago. It was on a while ago, down the road. And I'd just gotten back from a few years of traveling and doing some stand-up overseas and stuff. And I didn't have a job back in this country yet, so after 10 years, I was able to turn up to my high school classmates and announce my primary achievement as not homeless. But now with my house gone, I can't even be not homeless anymore. Luckily, there is a bit of time before the next reunion for me to be not homeless again. If certain people get off their ass and help clear the wreckage, and it's still a thing. But the next one is in 2021, so I'm optimistic that if they clear the wreckage by 2018, then I'll be fine. Take it to the next election, Barry. But it was at this high school reunion I realized that I really love the mountains. I love being in the mountains. And I realized I love it more the older I get. Because there's actually nothing to do here as a teenager. This is true. I don't know if you know this, but as a teenager, there's very little. I remember standing around with my friends going, well, what are we going to do tonight? And someone says, I know, let's sit in a circle. You've seen these circles of teens just sitting there because there's nothing, and then you have to sit in a circle because there's nothing else to do. But then you get older, you become a grown-up, sort of, and you realise that there are all these great bars and shops and cafes and galleries and all this great, cool, grown-up stuff to do on the mountains, and you end up liking it more, right? So I'm at this high school reunion with a couple of friends who are from out of town, coming back for the union. We say, yeah, let's do something in the mountains tomorrow. We're here together. This isn't going to happen for a while. Let's do something. And let's not just go to a bar. Let's do something. Yeah. What are we going to do? And there was a full 30 seconds of silence before someone goes, aqua golf? And then, no, I had to say that's technically not in the mountains. And we go, oh, okay, more silence. And then, regular golf? And we go, and then we realize none of us own golf clubs or know how to play golf. So we don't know why we were thinking of aqua golf. And then suddenly, after 10 years, we find ourselves in this same situation going, what do we do in the mountains? And then suddenly, the solution hit us. We got into a car, drove out to Martin's Lookout, and sat in the circle. It was excellent. Losing your house is awful. But I do have trouble. It doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't really cross the line into tragic. You know, and I know that may not be the case for everyone, but for me, it's just the height of inconvenience. It's super inconvenient. It's like having your car stolen. A lot. Alright? But for me, it's not necessarily a tragedy, because I have a hard time applying the word tragedy when we still have each other, we still have this wonderful community, we still have this incredible outpouring, events like this. There's nothing but love here, and I can't find that tragic. You know, we still have each other. And that may not be the case for everyone, but it is for me, and I'm just here to try and cheer you up tonight and give you my perspective. And even if it is tough for some of you out there, once this is all over, once we've gone through the long and grueling process of the rebuild, we'll have you all around for a housewarming of ours. Slightly less warm than the last one. Because that was too warm. No, stop. You need to be less on fire, house. House, you're doing it wrong. Now you don't exist anymore. We'll have you around for a housewarming. It'll be good times. Thank you very much for spending that tonight. My name's Evin Donohoe. Have a happy summer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Evin Donohoe, another